Hey, how's it going? I'm here at a factory, and you might be wondering, what kind of factory, Joey? Well, I'll tell you. This is actually the factory that the good folks over at 𝐻ヂ𝒩𝒯𝒜𝐼 own. Now, that might sound like a familiar name to you guys if you watched my main channel video from a couple of months back where I bought $1,000 worth of hentai, and they decided, hey, you know what? Why don't you come to our factory to see where all of the good stuff is made? And that's essentially where we are. Right now, we are in the factory where pretty much all of the hentai that is made in Japan is created. And I've gotten full access to showing you guys the factory as well as how everything is packaged, as well as maybe having a little bit of an experience to see what it's like working here, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff as well. I guess we will go around, give it a go, see what it looks like, and take you guys around a factory where I don't think it's ever been filmed. I don't know if has a place like this ever been filmed before? Probably not. I don't know. Let's go check it out. So first and foremost, obviously what they have to do is they have to take the dojin, wrap it up in some plastic, because the last thing you want is a bunch of scratches all over your fat material. This line right here, this machine right here, make sure that all of the things get packaged up nicely. So they have rolls and rolls of this plastic that get wrapped up by this machine and then thrown into what I assume is kind of like a compressor. So they take high temperatures and they basically suck all the air out of it so that it's nice and airtight. And then after it gets compressed, this machine right here takes all of the airtight packaging of the dojins and slaps a barcode on it that has obviously the price of the dojin on it. Once that is done, the staff at the end of the line takes all of those, puts it in some boxes, and then takes it upstairs to the second floor where it is stored and distributed for later packaging and shipping. This isn't anything new. I mean, obviously, if you know anything about how these kinds of industries work, then you know obviously this is what they have to do, but I always love actually seeing it in person and seeing how the actual machinery operates, so it's super fascinating. You don't get to see this very often. By the way, this is one floor out of 4 floors. So we're on the second floor right now. As you can see, there is literal thousands of shelves. I mean, this is what you can only see maybe one shelf at the moment, but this goes on for God knows how many shelves. How many do you think right now, like books there are on this one floor?
450,000 or something.
450,000?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So each section is split off into obviously different types of stuff. So right now we're at the, just the standard books and stuff like that, but the thin books are in one section and then there are goods in other sections. So I guess we'll kind of walk around and see what they have. I mean, they have literally everything, but yeah, I want to see what specifics they have. Jesus, look at that. That's so many. Like, I'm seeing over there, like, the numbers, it goes all the way to 29. There's 29 rows of this, and it just goes on forever. This is just one room, by the way. You found anything you like yet, Mars?
I can't show them on camera.
I mean, there are some of them where I think like the cover is just, the cover is passable. Maybe if I open up the books it might be bad, but I don't know if you can like pull the camera up and just like get it over the top view, but like look at that, it just goes on forever. So I finally found a dojin that I think is okay enough for YouTube standards, YouTube Puritans. See, she's wearing clothes. Don't worry. Don't age restrict this video, please. I beg of you. So yeah, as you can see, the tag is put into the plastic, ready to be slapped into the boxes. And they do this like 100 million times over for all of these books. You could literally like run down this hallway. You guys have bought dojins before, then you know that sometimes you get like little special items that come with it. So like things like can badges. We got like this one, for example, like which I guess is like a little special manga that comes with. It's really difficult to be able to show you like certain specific areas because from what I've heard, basically if there is an open slot for a new item, they just shove it in and then they update the system. So it's kind of categorized, but not really categorized. It's certainly not categorized for humans, let's just say that. And that's why they have a special system to make sure that they can track every single item.
I heard about several years ago they did all this with paper and pens.
Are you serious? How many pieces of paper would they have had to use? I mean, I'm already like impressed when, when you go to like a bookstore and like you ask like for a specific book and the guy's just like, oh yeah, I know exactly where that is, and just goes straight there. Like it's kind of like that, except like Dark Souls level of difficulty. And cool as well because 𝐻ヂ𝒩𝒯𝒜𝐼 actually does a lot more than just dojins and manga and stuff like that. Like for example, they have things like little tote bags right here. Look at these ninja card sleeves, dude. Yo, you got a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards that you want some sick sleeves for? This is like blankets and stuff like that as well.
Safe for work?
Yes. I'm seeing more clothes than skin, so yeah, this is safe for work. All right, cool, we did it. It's really difficult to film in here because the safe for work stuff is mixed in with the not safe for work stuff. It's kind of cool, like that the distribution processes really does change even on the same floor. I mean, like, look at this area right here. There's like lots of tapestries and lots of like bonus cards and gifts that come with it. It kind of reminds me of like a hardware store, you know, like when you go to the section where there's all the different sizes of like screws and nails and stuff like that. And again, a lot of these are also Toranana exclusive as well. So these are little extra bonuses. And another reason why, if you're going to buy dojins from anywhere, might as well be Toranana. And I know this video is sponsored, so it might not come off like that, but like I also like just generally use Toranana for a lot of my dojins as well, so this is like a real customer review. Like the extra bonuses in Toranana, I think, in my opinion, are really worth it. Of course though, Toranana doesn't just have hentai dojins and manga and stuff like that, they also have the anime variety as well, such as this entire section right here. That's all DVD Blu-ray box sets, some CDs of like soundtracks, big figures, and they've even got box sets of visual novels and eroges as well, because Toranana has everything for your otaku needs. If you had infinite amount of money and you decided to come in and be like, hey, I want to buy one of everything you have in this factory, how much money would you have to spend for it? So I just asked the staff, roughly how many titles does Toranana actually have in their system, and it's a very rough estimate, but they said it's around 100,000 titles. So maybe each title is like, let's say on average, I don't know, 700 yen. That would be 70 million yen, $500,000 US. That's a lot of dojins, fuck. I thought one little detail that was kind of fun or quirky was like the little signs up there, very reminiscent of like when you go to a train station in Japan. And apparently before, from what I heard, they actually used to name each section of the factory after like real train stations. So there were areas of the factory that were named like Akihabara or like Sapporo, and it's like, it was like trying to navigate around Japan inside the factory. So that's like a little fun quirky thing that they used to do. Obviously they don't do it anymore, I don't know why, but I guess still the remains of it can be seen today. Okay, so I get to do a little bit of an experience, I guess, of what it's like to be working in this factory. So I have these two funky gadgets attached to me. First is obviously just like a little phone thing that's attached to my wrist right here. So the things that I'm gonna have to go and pick up will appear on this phone. And I also have this little laser right here. You get a piece of paper right here that has an order. I'm going to use this little scanner right here to scan the barcode, and then it's going to appear right here. So I'm going to start the order, and it tells me how many of what dojin and in what area it's going to be. So the area is 3B0102 103. We have to use essentially all of the numbers right there to figure out where exactly this dojin is. Let's go and pick up these dojins. We're at 01, 2 to 5. It's in number 2s. There it is. It looks exactly the same as on the thing, and it says that we need 5 of these. So I'm going to scan 5 of these. So 2 and 5.
Thank you.
And then it moves on to the next one. So this one has no image, but it's in 3B14101. 14101. Here, we need 1 of these.
Thank you.
Can you imagine before this thing was implemented, all the employees had to remember where everything was. They got a picture of maybe like the cover or the name of the dojin, and they just had to be like, oh yeah, I think this one was around this area. Thank God for technology. 3B0208 101. 3B0208 101.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, this one's a little bit of a thinner one. This is an unofficial fan book.
Thank you.
And it says there, picking ga kanryou shimashita. The picking is complete. And now, we've got everything that this order has to get. So we put it into the box right here. And there we go. That's a picking complete. That was actually kind of fun because you get to like actually, you know, walk around and like see what kind of things people are buying and stuff like that. And I'm sure after a while you'll have complete understanding of where everything is. But Technology certainly helps, that's for sure. So a little like tidbit that I thought was actually kind of interesting that I heard from the staff is that apparently the actual placements of each of the books on each of the respective floors matter. Apparently the ones that are picked up more often, the more popular books, are actually closer to the elevators, and the more rarer ones, or the ones that don't get ordered as often, are actually further away. Which makes a lot of sense, because if you're constantly going to pick up a certain item, then you want it to be closer to the elevators where all of the packing and action happens. So I guess that little aspect they've thought about, and that's actually quite smart because it makes the process a little bit faster. But we're on the 3rd floor right now, and you might think it looks exactly the same as the 2nd floor. In a lot of ways, yes it does. But the 2nd floor, as I showed you, has a lot of different stuff. Things like manga, tapestries, some figures and stuff like that. This floor, let's just say, has a lot more not safe for work things in here, so I'm gonna have to be very careful with that. Another key difference between the 2nd floor that we were just at and this current 3rd floor is that the 2nd floor is mostly publications. So basically pre-existing manga, anime that have been then created by doujin artists. Whereas this 3rd floor is full-on, proper, independently created original works. So a lot of them as well can be NSFW, but also can be safe for work as well. For instance, this one right here. This is cute. That's the fun thing about doujins, is that the cover might be safe for work, but you open it up and it might be the most NSFW shit you've ever seen. Here is the machine right here that packages all of the doujins that are going to be eventually shipped off. The doujins are individually packed right now into paper packages, and then this little section right here is where it all gets packaged into the plastic. I've always loved these kinds of, like, you know, factory kind of machinery and stuff like that, to see how it all works, because you always wonder, like, how do they do it so fast, you know? And obviously it's machines like this that do all the work for it. They put them into the packaging, they snip off the little bits, and then the remains go into this little bin right here. And then once it's fully packaged, it goes into this machine where it is then probably pressed, and then it makes its way out over to the other side where it's ready to be put into the box. So this is a part where they actually take the doujins that were wrapped up in the plastic that I showed you earlier, and they fold it up into little packages or boxes. You can see right there that there is a massive line of doujins that are coming through, getting put into boxes, and then right over here is where the machine does its work. It's pretty cool actually seeing how these like robots actually are able to do stuff that are just a million times faster than any human could do it. Alright, and now we are on the 4th and final floor of the factory, and as you can see, this is where pretty much the final processing happens. All the doujins are shipped off into boxes, and they are either sent to the different stores or they are sent to the customers. Wow, there's just a sea of boxes right there. All of those filled with some fine fabric material. But of course, it's not just Japanese people who are using Toranana. Of course, they have a massive market for the foreigners, you guys who are watching this video right now. And this entire section right here is where you guys from overseas are buying the goods. There is a list right here of all of the things that this particular person has decided to buy. So I know exactly what kind of taste you guys have. And for those of you who do actually want to buy your doujins through Toranana, then stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you exactly how to do it. But obviously, there are a bunch of you guys who are already in that game, who are already getting the goods from Toranana. So good job on supporting the industry. So Toranana has given us special permission to ride this little elevator right here and get a top-down view of just how massive this factory is. I got to get into a harness and a helmet though, because apparently it's really dangerous. So good luck to me. All right, I'm ready to go. Oh. Oh my god, it's so scary. Look at that. We've got a great view here of just how massive this place is. That's how many doujins we have in this factory. And this is just one room as well. Whoa.
はい、ありがとうございます。
That was cool. I was like really high up and really sick. You could get like a great view of just how massive this factory is. Well guys, that was the Toronto factory tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I learned a lot and I got to see a ton of cool stuff that I pretty much don't really get to share because a lot of this is kind of secret. So first of all, big thank you to Toronto for letting me film in here. But since this is a sponsored video and there's probably a bunch of you guys who are like, I live overseas, Joey, but I want to know how to buy my dojins of Toronto. How do you do it? Teach me, sensei. Well, for that, I will leave it up to future Joey to explain how to do it. Take it away, Joey. Thank you, Joey. Let me tell you how you guys can easily sign up to Toranana so you can start buying that good dojin stuff. Before you start searching for dojinshis, the first thing you should be doing is signing up to AOCS, which is the official proxy service run by Toranana. So I'm here on the AOCS website where you can register for a brand new account. You'll be asked to fill in a bunch of information such as your personal information, your shipping address, obviously, and then you will hit proceed to confirmation. After you've put in all of your personal information, you'll be asked to register a new Toranana account. And once that is all set up, you have all of your accounts ready to go. Now, don't forget that you will be receiving your Toranana ID through email, so make sure to keep that safe and sound and don't delete that. But once you're all ready to go ahead, log into Toranana, and let's start searching for our favorite dojins. Now, obviously, Toranana being a Japanese website, obviously, as you can see, the website is also in Japanese, and it's probably safe to say that the majority of you watching this video probably don't know a whole lot of Japanese, and instead are probably going to go to your favorite hentai artist over on Twitter to see if their brand new books are available on Toranana. So let's do exactly that. So let's use an example tweet from the AOCS Twitter account, for example. So you would see this doujin and you go, great, I want this anthology. Let's go check it out. I'm loving how it looks. I love the price. Let's add it to the cart. Boom. Once you're inside the cart and you're ready to purchase, let's go ahead, click that big yellow button. Now, at first, you might look at this address right here and go, hey, that's not the address that I entered, but don't worry. This is actually the address of the factory that I actually just showed you guys. It's actually going to go to the factory first, where it will get processed, and then it'll make its way over to the address that you put in when registering the account. The big yellow button right here says select how to pay, but let's just ignore that for now and keep following through and pressing the yellow button until you hit this particular page right here. Once you press this big yellow button right here, your order is confirmed and your product is now reserved. Now, to save you from ordering multiple times, because I'm sure some of you degenerates are going to end up doing that, AOCS actually gives you the option when you want them to ship it to you. To do this, go to the AOCS page and press my list of orders. And from there, you'll be able to choose which orders you want shipped when. You'll also get to choose how you want to pay, as well as the particular delivery service that they'll be using to bring the goods to you. Now, Toranana does its best to get the goods to you and avoid keeping your goods in the customs bay. So what they'll actually be doing once you've confirmed everything is that they'll be individually emailing you about your orders. For example, parcels that are sent to, let's say, China will be wrapped up differently than parcels that will be sent to the US. But just in case you guys missed any of what I just said and are a little bit unclear, then the instructions and the official website links will be linked in the description below, so make sure to check it out. But bottom line, that is how you order your dojins from Toranana. Enjoy, degenerates. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. This was a really cool, surreal experience. And again, a big thank you to Toranana for not only letting me film in this factory, but also the sponsoring of this video. Again, if you haven't checked out the main channel video that I did with Toranana yet, then I will also leave the link to that in the description below as well, so make sure to check it out. But either ways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right there to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head, there's a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, as well as my YouTube Shorts channel, TikTok, and my Patreon to support this channel as well, is all down in the description below. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.